Okay guys, so things are getting really interesting right now. Highguard developer blames toxicity of games rapid fall, and also after this developer has said that in a very recent point of information, Sobel, who is the person who made that massive tweet which was caught by some of the gaming websites, then he deleted his X account in the backlash. So what happened? Highguard launched on Steam January 26, and after that it lost over 80% of its player base in 24 hours, and now sits at around 1,300 players with mostly negative reviews. Sobel, a former lead artist laid off after 2.5 years, posted on February 12 about the pre-launch excitement soaring into the rage bait videos and 14,000 review bombs from brief plays, including mockery of his autism disclosure. Critics called it deflection from issues like bland 3v3 matches or vast maps and repetitive loops. While a few defended its innovative raids and mount combat, Sobel then deleted his account on X in the backlash. So yeah, it's pretty crazy, guys, but we are looking at the Concordian timeline effectively, which is just insane because this is actually happening, man. Like, these companies are launching these games where we all know that, the majority of people don't want to play these games. Like, let's just be honest. Marathon looks okay-ish. I mean, amongst these games, Marathon is the only one that actually looks a bit interesting. Now, time will tell if it's going to have an audience or not. But the Concordian timeline seems that it may be fulfilled. We are in a very interesting timeline, guys. Nonetheless, let's continue because things are getting very interesting here. This is a great one. None of us were ready for it the same way he's ready for sudden explosive diarrhea. Yes, this person is defending the game here, saying that the game is great. Now, of course, that's not what's happening here. But yeah, developer entitlement must be stopped. Just because you pump out slop nobody asked for and slap a recognizable franchise name on top of doesn't entitle you towards people's money. Don't be surprised if nobody buys it. That's the fun part, right? That is the fun part, which again is what was the problem, right? This guy, George Sobel, as you can see here, he now deleted his account after blaming gamers for the Highguard's massive flop. He basically kind of said, gamers are the main reason, effectively, right? This is what this guy is saying here. That is not a win for gamers. Failed games hurt gamers as it becomes a riskier investment, and video games cost a lot of money. The hate is not balanced here. Well, honestly, that's not the case. We have to get rid of the slop, effectively, because the industry is full of slop. So that's the problem there, guys. We have to do that. This is so wild. The reason he deleted his account is directly related to why the game failed. He doesn't want feedback or criticism. If you build a game that requires a community to function, then it's not your game anymore. It's their game. A single player game is a piece of art that you can release without feedback. Players will buy it and play the game at their own pace. However, the moment you develop features like matchmaking and ranked that depend on the community, it becomes their game, and you should ask them for feedback during development. That is the problem. Concord but not forgotten, deleting the tweet account after thanking shills, highlighting toxic positivity and blaming gamers. Textbook Streisand, expecting players, time, money, taking Super Bowl level eyes, and 100k for granted. That's the thing, right? I mean, this guy, when he made his post, he said that everyone I knew who had any connection to the team or project had the same sentiments. The game is lightning in a bottle. I trust this team wholeheartedly. If there's one project nobody in the industry is worried will fail, is yours. This has mainstream written all over it. There's no way this will flop. I could play the game all day. Now that's the problem. This is what's called toxic positivity. If you build a game with this sort of positivity in mind, you're not gonna get far. And why you're not gonna get far? Very simple, because this is going to create an echo chamber, and in that echo chamber, you only trust what people who you trust say, and that's it. This is the problem, right? This is the major issue. Right? The real question that needs to be answered is, did he finally realize that everything about his life and career was a lie, propped by his peers, making him believe he could do no wrong, and now reality has hit and he's running from it? I love to know the real backstory. And yeah, I mean, that is the problem there, right? These devs will be sure to learn nothing from their failures. Grok, who is at fault here, for the gamers or the devs? So let's see what Grok says. Highguard's flop involves factors on both sides. Dev Josh Sobel cited gamers' backlash and misinformation from the 2025 Game Awards reveal as key issues. Critics argue poor design, marketing, and unmet expectations doomed it. Ultimately, it's a combo. Devs needed better PR, but hostile reactions amplified problems. So Grok is taking like a neutral stance because, of course, Grok has to be politically correct, as you can imagine. So yeah, 2 down, 2 more to go. This is guys, this is happening real time, man. This is happening in real freaking time. So yeah, that's the situation we have right now. Devs need to understand that they do not get to decide if a game will succeed or not. Us gamers and fans decide if the game will be successful or not. Make what you want or go bankrupt. As simple as that. And that's it, guys, right? Why do developers think that just because they make a game that is automatically supposed to be embraced by the gamers, it's almost like they think they don't have to earn it? Focus on creating games for the gamers and not for the developers. Blaming your users was really a bad move. Back to McDonald's. So yeah, that's it, guys. This is the main issue at the moment. You can blame gamers as much as you want. You can blame review bombing. If a game is 100% worth it, people will play it because it's a free market, right? Low-key, the game fails so fast because the characters are so unappealing and ugly, but they somehow just released the coolest character I've seen in a video game, and they did that after the game died. Nothing kills credibility faster than telling customers they're the problem. After pointing fingers at the gamers for Highguard's flop, Sobel hits the digital eject button and wiped his presence. Yeah, the developers, corporations, and industry reality really have to get over themselves. We had inferior hardware, complete games, and tons of studios making games often, lots of choices, and lower budgets. Now the hardware is expensive, studios are bloated, and take too long to make a game. That's the issue. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy, right? Took his Highguard and left. Oh, that's crazy. Not taking accountability for his own bad decisions, developing this game mostly in the shadows, not doing betas to track interest, etc., and blaming the consumers is a bad move, especially when he dipped to avoid backlash or discussions. Yeah. That's it, guys. Don't blame the gamers. Blame the one that caused the game to flop, for goodness sake. It doesn't matter why the player count dropped last week. These people get told over and over what gamers want and what they do not want. Gamers are not exactly subtle with expressing their opinions, but they do not listen, or they do listen if it's to activists who don't buy games anyway. What happened with Relooted? Well, you guys know what happened with Relooted. Like, Relooted literally had maximum player base of, like, what was that? Like 50 players, I think. If you just go here to SteamDB at the moment here and just go to Relooted for a second, right? Like, this is a perfect example of what happens when you don't know how, what is your audience. This game launched on Steam with a peak of 57 concurrent maximum players. The total sales of the game are around 2.5 to 5.5 copies, right? Maybe, let's say, approximately, 3,000 copies at most on PC. That is bankruptcy, my friends. That is literal bankruptcy. So again, once more, this explains to you that you should never, ever make games without knowing if your audience is actually going to buy your games, and especially for a game as a service, you have to make sure you test the market. Of course, we're talking about Relooted now because an example of other games, but for Highguard, it's a different problem. In that one, they did not test the market, they didn't do any betas, and the betas were very, very limited, only to specific people who were most likely the press and activists who did not really, tell them the truth. And this is what happens if you don't seek truthful, honest feedback from gamers, then, you are risking going bankrupt very, very easily. So guys, that's it for today's video. As always, I shall see you later in the next one.